I would love to do something more, whether it's just like opening something, starting a brand, you know. You just never know where it can go. And it's just all about starting. So I'm just waiting for the next thing that really interests me, and, you know, I want to get started in it. So we'll see what happens, you know.
You know, it's interesting. I think when I was in college, I was super entrepreneurial, started a company, and I had no idea what I was doing. We didn't bring a product to market, but I think a lot of the ideas I had were good.
Yeah.
And starting a company was cool. But I think I've always been scared of starting a company since that experience, because like after I had that experience, then I went to go get jobs, and then all of a sudden you're getting paid good, you have benefits, you have stability, you have a track. And when it's not your company, you can kind of turn your brain off a little bit, right? Like I care about my job and I want to do a good job, but it's not my company, right? So it's like I didn't create a ton of the value right out of the gate. So it's like I can't care about it as much as I would like if I was starting my own thing.
Exactly.
You know? So it's like, but it's also scary. So last year I tried to start a company and is a, you know, startup type of deal. I had some of my friends working on it as a side hustle, and we incorporated it in everything. And I like, for me, I love building products, but I hate the stressful stuff of incorporation, taxes,
all
accounting.
the pieces.
Oh my God.
There's so many pieces to the puzzle.
I know I will, like, I'll have to learn some of that when I do my own thing, but I'll probably end up having to find someone who I can partner with who will do stuff on that. But it's interesting. I don't want to lose that zeal, you know. And I heard Sam Presti, I think OKC Thunder GM, and he was quoting some rap lyric. He was saying like broke money don't make none, when he was talking about like all chips in on some of the trades he made to get a ring. And I think that's a good philosophy, but again, like you said, it's not always like good advice is not good advice in every scenario, you know, because sometimes taking that risk will blow your life up, and it'll be bad. Like if you have a family and blah blah blah, like sometimes that's too much
look
risk.
At your pop.
No, I know, right? Like, but my dad's an interesting case, you know, because my dad took risk to the extreme, right? Like when he had a family and like no fallback plan, just chips in, and lost many times. Like he's won a couple times, but then he's lost everything that he's won many times. And like that was super painful for my family and for me to see. So that also makes me scared, little shy from, but my gut instinct is to be entrepreneurial. But I hope I just don't chicken out and, you know, wake up and I'm 35 and I haven't done anything entrepreneurial, explored that. But it's a weird, it's kind of we'll do it at some point. But I kick around all these ideas in my head a lot, and it's kind of a battle, you know, like, okay, do I go do something entrepreneurial, or do I kind of stick it out in what I'm doing? But I feel like that's kind of a lifelong thing, you know.
Yeah, and you know, you talked about like being scared of losing that kind of like that mindset, like, oh, I want to do something more. And you know, I feel you on that. And as you're saying, like once you get a job and you're stable and you're making good money, you kind of do lose it, because you're like, okay, well, I'm comfortable now. Like I'm getting shit done. And you know, that's kind of, I felt that too. Like as I started working with Wolf and Rye, you know, I started doing really good, and it's just like I kind of did get comfortable. And it was like, you know, it was almost like, you know, I don't necessarily have to do more, but it's also that wanting to do more. And, you know, it's also like comes with this, that trial and error. I'm going to fail this time, maybe win this time. I'm going to fail 10 times and maybe win the next time. But you're not going to know until you keep going. And like, you know, another part too is like all these different like ventures that you take, no matter what route you take, you're not going to know everything. You're not going to know a lot of it. Like, dude, same with me, like with business, like, oh my, like I was getting into like the whole like getting my seller's permit, and you know, all this different, or seller's license, whatever it's called, you know, all this different stuff that you need to like get into like a barber supply, because it's like, I mean, for example, you can't even see what wholesale prices are unless you have a seller's permit. Yeah. So there's so many things to it, and like, I mean, I don't know all this, but you know, just like I didn't know all about barbering when I started, but you know, you put, like I said, you go head in first, and like you put in all the work, you're going to figure it out. And, you know, one thing, and I learned this from the whole barbering experience, is like, you know, you go 100%, you're going to get it, and you're going to get it quick. And B, you're going to start with nothing, But you keep that mentality like, okay, I can't wait for the day where I do know all of this. Because then, like, let's say you're opening a business and you're like, oh, dude, the taxes, the permits, the licensing, I don't know how this works, that works. But then a year goes by and you know how all of it works because you went 100%, you know? So it's just like, it's very scary, but you really won't know how it will work out for you, as well as how much you can learn about it until you do it, you know? And it all, like, just like I said, like, probably like 15 times so far. Dude, it's literally about being scared. Like, it all has to do about being scared. And everything's scary. Dude, when I go on a roller coaster, it's scary, but the payoff's fun. Yeah. If I go jump off a freaking cliff into some water, it's scary, but it's fun, you know? Like, once you go through these scary things, like these scary trials, you learn, you know? And I mean, anything new can be scary, and anything like different can be scary. But from all those things, good or bad, you're going to learn something, you know? And I mean, cool, you can be secure and safe and just chill and just do what you want to do. But I mean, you're only going to get so far. You know, you got to go through all these different trials to get to the next level. Yeah. And it's just, as scary as it can be, you know, you just got to do it, you know? And I mean, shit, it's easy to say, like, at least with the barbering, I was still with my parents and stuff. You know, it was a lot simpler. But even now, like, now that I'm on my own and stuff, it's like, even then, like, things can be scary. I mean, who knows? Like, I can go try to open up a business and have $0. I can have negative money in my bank account. Yeah. But I tried it, you know? I saw how, I might see how it works, or I might, you know, learn this, and that. And I mean, dude, at the end of the day, at least we're not like 200 grand in debt, you know? Like, I'd rather be like 10 grand in debt with a failed business and I learned something than, oh, I have a piece of paper and I'm going to be in debt the rest of my life. So, I mean, that's not fun. You know, like, it's all about trying, man. And just, I feel you know, you just have to go through it. And if you don't go through it, you're not going to learn anything. Yeah. So. It's interesting because I think we'll both start businesses someday and it'll be all consuming. And the only way to do it is to go 100% in because it's too hard to not. But there's a benefit of working a job too, you know, and having it not be your own thing and you not having to care about it to that level. Cause then you can do other things. Like I can podcast, I can make music, I can be creative, I can learn things cause I'm not as stressed out. I can kind of just do my job and then have time where I'm away from my job. And whereas if it's your own thing, it's yours, you're on, right? Exactly. So I think we got to take advantage of this time and we'll probably look back and be like, shit, why didn't we learn X, Y, and Z? Why didn't we try A, B, and C? Why? Grass is always greener, right? But exactly. Yeah. And like, you know, and then also again, you know, it's not for everyone, you know, and that's not a bad or good thing, you know. There's nothing wrong with getting to the job you want and being content with it. There's nothing wrong with that. But then again, you know, there is people like I would consider myself and you, like, where we do want to do more. Where, I mean, dude, I'll be honest with you, like, cool, a house and stuff is cool. Like, at the very least, I want to be able to support a family and live a good life and stuff. But, dude, I want to drive a freaking Ferrari. Yeah. I want to go travel the world and stuff. You know, I'm trying to do more. Like, I don't want to, like... just scrape by. I want to do the most, you know? And, like, I feel like that's... like I said, not everyone... and it's not a good or a bad thing, but not everyone wants that. So it's just like, if you do want that, you might as well just go 100%.